Unauthorized boarding detected. Target acquisition confirmed. Gun ports retracted from the ship's flanks. Massive turrets swiveled into place. The obsolete magnetic slug throwers were not primitive at all. They were rail cannons, capable of accelerating multi-ton projectiles to hypersonic velocity. The Valoran escort fleet barely had time to raise shields. The first salvo tore through the lead cruiser, splitting it in half. The second reduced the escort carrier to molten debris. The Vengeance maneuvered like a predator striking prey, its ancient thrusters somehow pushing it faster than ships built centuries later. Panic erupted on the Valoran command channel. They had assumed they were dealing with a museum piece. They were wrong. This was no relic. This was a weapon. And it had been waiting. Hours later, only drifting wreckage remained. The Vengeance powered down again, returning to its silent vigil near the dead star. When the council reconvened, the Valoran admiral was absent. His ship and his pride both gone. Whispers filled the chamber. Counselor Dane stood. "Do you understand now?" His voice was low, dangerous. "Humans don't build warships to last decades. We build them to last until the job is done, however many centuries that takes." The Carawan ambassador's frills trembled. "But no ship should function after so long." Alaric's eyes were like iron. "That's because no one else builds them like we do. You called it primitive. You called it harmless. Now you know the truth." He glanced toward the flickering projection of the Vengeance. Still adrift, still dangerous. "Human-made doesn't mean obsolete," he said. "It means you should pray it stays asleep." No one in the chamber laughed again. "No mistake, Terrans are not weak. We are patient, and patience is ending." The Kalari representative, a soft-skinned being who usually avoided confrontation, spoke nervously. "What exactly are you implying?" Ward's gaze swept across the room, and when he spoke, his voice was a low growl. "If you move against Earth, if you send fleets toward our worlds, they will not return. If you blockade us, your supply lines will vanish in the dark. And if—" he let the word hang for a moment. "If you strike our people, we will burn your fleets to ash and salt your homeworld skies until the stars themselves hide from you." "Empty bravado," Thrix sneered. Ward turned toward him, eyes like cold steel. "Do you remember the Dravik swarm? How they were erased in a single night?" The chamber fell silent. The Dravik had been a nightmare billions strong, an unstoppable tide that devoured entire systems. They had vanished without explanation a century ago. No one had ever dared claim responsibility. Ward continued softly, "That wasn't a plague. That wasn't a supernova. That was us." Gasps and chittering erupted across the chamber. "You're lying?" Thrix whispered, but the sudden stiffness in his voice betrayed doubt. Ward stepped toward the exit. "You have your verdict, and I have mine. The moment the first council ship crosses into Terran space, the galaxy will remember what it fears most. Not monsters, not warlords, but humans." He paused at the doorway, glancing over his shoulder one last time. "You think we need your counsel. We don't. But you need us more than you realize. My advice." His voice dropped to a deadly whisper. "Flee." Then he was gone. For several moments, the chamber was utterly still. No one moved. No one breathed. Somewhere, deep in the minds of every alien present, an ancient instinct stirred, the primal awareness that predators still walked among the stars. Far above Varela, unseen against the starlight, an old Terran battleship waited in silent orbit. Its weapons were cold, its engines idle, but its targeting systems were locked on every capital ship in the sector. The crew had orders to stand by. If the Council chose war, the humans would answer. And when they did, the galaxy would finally understand the truth. Humanity's patience was never peace. It was the warning before the storm.